I don't have any regrets. And I will say that, I could say that now because I made some pretty big fucking mistakes. Like, I'll tell you like one experience, like just as an example. I went to a concert and it was a very big business event for me. I went alone without a manager because he sent me alone, and I got roofied. And it was, nothing terrible happened. Like, I ended up being around like all kinds of people that really cared about me. It was just like a bartender slipped me something, or it was either a bartender, like we're not really sure on the logistics, but it was somebody in the small group of fans that had at some point been drinking with us, and I got targeted. So the next day was like freaking out because I was like, you know, obviously I didn't know what happened. I was slap drunk. I was off of a drug I didn't know I was off of. And like, I was like, fuck, I fucked this whole business situation up. Like, they're not gonna fuck with me no more, nothing. And like, the next day, every one of them niggas called me. Every one of them called me like, are you okay? Like, I was like crying. So I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, I blew my opportunity, blew it. And they were just like, are you okay? Like, it happens. Niggas get fucked up like that all the time, don't worry. Like, they didn't even care. So like, that experience really truly taught me, like, if people are gonna fuck with you, they're gonna fuck with you. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, you could do pretty much anything, like, as long as you're not really like hurting somebody else, trying to take some shit out on somebody else, people are gonna fuck with you as long as you're a good person. So like, now I don't really regret anything. I just try to, you know, think more, stop and slow down, like, before I make a decision or before I react, as opposed to like, oh yeah, this guy's giving me a shot. I don't know who you are, you're a fan, let me take that shot with you. Yeah, like, no. You can be like, oh, thanks, and then just pretend, or, oh, that's a great shot, put it back here. Like, I'm learning so many different ways to like adjust now that it's like, that's not a funny situation, but like, now I look back and I'm like, damn, I was like freaking the fuck out for nothing. Like, you know, I was freaking the fuck out, and those people still love me. Yeah, I just gave y'all like a, sorry. I just dropped some like shit on y'all. It depends on my mood, really. Like, it just depends on my mood. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to work on this song, I want to work on that song, and then I'll get to it and I'll be like, this is not how I'm feeling today. I'm not this turned up, or I'm not in a shitty mood. I'm not gonna write this song. So I guess like I'll normally like smoke. I normally smoke, and then I'll just chill on my porch, or I'll sit in like a beanbag chair, like at my house, and I'll just put my headphones in, or plug my phone into the stereo and like blast my music through my house. Like, it's either one or the other, and I zone like out. If my headphones are in, normally I'm like dead to the world, because I'm not even focused on like what's going on around me. Oh, what makes a good rapper?
What makes a bad rapper? Yeah, that is. You can start with the bad one if you want to.
I guess a good rapper. A good rapper takes their time. You know, they're not just, to me, they're not just going, you know, they're not just writing whatever. They're actually focusing on their punchlines, their content. They're focusing on like different techniques. Tech Nine told me once he's got 9 different techniques, and that nigga has like way more than 9, because I know I have 9, and there's way more. Like, there's so many more that I'm learning still. So like, I feel like if you can't, like, you have to be able to freestyle. Like, that's my criteria. You have to actually be able to freestyle, not like I'm gonna write some shit and memorize it and do a cipher. You have to count bars. I hate rappers that come in the studio and are like, oh, I'm gonna write this shit. Hey, do I have 12 bars? I got 16. I'm like, nigga, what? What you mean you have 12 bars? Like, you don't know what 12 bars sounds like? Like, can you count? So, I'm gonna be petty, but, you should have a good product, a good package. If you're gonna actually pursue it, I think you should have a good package. You should have a good look. You should have a good sound, style. You should be a good person. It shouldn't really be a criteria for a rapper, but you have to be a good person in my book, because you can't be a fuckboy and be a rapper. I know some of the most thug ass niggas who rap about the most gangster ass shit and do the most trill ass shit, and they're the nicest fucking people in the world. So I don't want to. Yeah, they're bad as fuck, but they're so nice, like so nice. So bad.
The not so great rapper.
Oh, a good rapper should probably have money too. You should probably have money to support yourself. A not so good rapper cannot count bars, obviously. Doesn't know how to stay in the pocket. Screams all the time. Doesn't know how to hold the mic. I'm being so petty right now. Petty God. Petty goddess. When people say turn up on stage, that shit blows me. That's like the most annoying ad-lib ever. Like, or like, put your hands in the air. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling me? Like, if I'm just looking at you in the crowd, like, no, I'm not feeling you, sir. No. Should wear a belt. I don't want your pants to say. I'm being so serious. I know that this is funny, but it's like I'm just. Man, it's just like. I see so many rap. You should never ever rap with your vocals. Bad rappers. Joe, there's just so many. I'm just really like I'm real nitpicky, and I'm nitpicky about myself. So like, I was on stage in Lawrence the other night, and we wrote this song. It's called Arrogant. It's a new song the rapper Chase got, and there's one part in the song where the hook breaks down and it's like 2 bars of just like sound, and then you come in on like the 3rd bar. And so I'm supposed to be like, I'm so fucking arrogant and all my bitches terrorists. And I completely missed the come in. Like I missed the cue and everything. So I was like late as fuck when we got to the end, and I was like, I'm going over her. So I tried so hard not to show it on my face, and I turned around and Henny looked at me like, it's okay. And I was like, because like I was completely out of the pocket, and I didn't even get in. It was just lucky that nobody knew the song. But that's one of my biggest like pet peeves, is like showing it when you fuck up, showing it on your face. Good rappers, camouflage. Tech 9, like I talk so much about Tech 9, but it's just I spend a lot of time like around him and with him, and he's just dropped so much knowledge on me. But when he's fucked up on shows, he's told me like I messed up like 8 times tonight, 9 times tonight, like, or man, I only had 2 mistakes tonight, and I'll be like, damn, really? I didn't even see that shit. And he's just told me like it's just about camouflaging. So even in that moment where I'm fucking up, I'm like, oh, let me try and get back on track. And I did, but it still sounded bad. so you know, a good rapper will camouflage, a bad rapper will not. They'll just stumble along. Let me stop. I don't have any more bad rappers. I probably do, but y'all don't need to hear my petty goddessness. I've been performing since like, my first play was Annie, and I was like 9. And then ever since then, I've been in like The Music Man, I've been in Cinderella, I've been on stage since I was literally like 9 years old. So it's like, I've taken nothing but guidance. I was in Free Street when I was in high school for 4 years, like learning to act and learning to dance and learning to like work with my body and all that shit. So I'm okay. I'm comfortable, very comfortable with people telling me where to go, as long as they do it in like a savvy way. You can't have somebody walk into your session and be like, that's just huff, you need to do it this way, because that's not the case. Like my shit's never huff. Like I know that for one. Like and it still needs work because I'm still learning, like, and that's just the case with new artists and with artists in general. Like, look at Beyonce, like, she was not rapping about no fucking, like, gold grills 5 years ago. Like, her entire, she went from from baby Beyonce to Destiny's Child, like, to where they bred her, because, you know, it wasn't Destiny's Children. Like, there was already only one lead. There was only one star already. Like, to, you know, R&B diva, to, like, now I'm Jay-Z's wife and I'm trill and gutter as hell, when really Beyonce's always been trill and gutter, and she didn't even graduate high school, G. So she didn't even graduate high school, but she's like, she's an icon. She's a legend. Second to Oprah.
Right.
I mean,
Oprah money.
She probably makes more money than J low key.
She made more than Oprah this year.
I believe it. Jay wouldn't. She has no high school degree, G, no high school diploma, and she's friends with Obama. Jay-Z can go to Cuba and into the White House because she can go in the White House. Like, he's a drug dealer, or he was. He's not doing that on his own. So it's just like somebody was able to tell her, like, you know, you need to do this, that, and she took it. And that's really what it's about. You see artists like, you know, like Lil Mama. Like, where the fuck is she? Nowhere. But that's, no, G, that's real as fuck though. Like, somebody probably told that bitch, don't get on stage and try to treat Jay-Z. He's gonna kill you. Your career will be over. And she was like, I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyways. And after that shit happened, you didn't see her again until the fucking Dancing with the Stars shit. And then people were like, really, Lil Mama, Dancing with the Stars? Who cares? Like, who are you? And then TLC, and then people were even more mad because they were like, really, you're really nobody, like, and you're playing Left Eye. Like, what? So.
Fuck Lil Mama. Let's talk about your growth.
Man.
That's not irrelevant to it.
Let's talk about your growth as an artist. Within 5 years. So 5 years ago.
5 years ago, I was a slam poet, G. 5 years ago, I wasn't even thinking about rap. I wasn't. 5 years ago, how old was I? 3, 2, 1. I was 19. So I was in Florida. I wasn't even thinking about rap music. I was working for Disney World, had just dropped out of college, and was like, what am I gonna do with my fucking life? And I was a party girl. I was still writing poetry, super heavy, submitting it to Young Chicago authors. By that time, I had been a teaching artist. And then 5 years later, here I am, like, you know, I'm not the most amazing rapper, but I'm a phenomenal entertainer. And, you know, just like a lot of people are not amazing at, you know, their thing, they're great at, you know, entertaining. That's really what I do. Like, I can get on stage now and I'll still be nervous. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still a nervous wreck. Like, before I go on stage, I forget every line of the start of every one of my songs. I'm so serious. Like, I'll go in the bathroom and I'll spit like every song like in double time, fast as fuck. Like, and people will be in the bathroom like, what is this bitch doing? And I'll be like, don't just ignore me. I'll be like going back and forth, walking back and forth, spitting my shit. Cause it's just what it is. But I'll get on stage and I'll be like, every action is deliberate. You know, I practice now. I know all my songs by heart. Even if I'm gonna do a new song, I don't stumble. Like, I'll do shows and I'll have to freestyle. And I won't have a choice. And I'll be like, I knew I didn't know this song. I don't know why I did this shit, but I'm gonna do it anyways, and it works. So, man, my growth has been nuts because I'm a quick learner too. People don't believe me, G. Like, when I met Tech and he was like, how long have you been rapping? And I was like, for real? Like, a year. And he was like, no, you haven't. Like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way you're getting on my bus spitting 60 bars and linking everything together with a hook. Like, exactly, but I'm a poet though. And it's not a hard transition. Like, when I started rapping, I was slam rhyming. And slam rhyming is kind of like, it sounds like it's a rhyme, but the end words actually aren't. So it's like, think of an example. If there was a way for me to like rhyme like beef, Keith, but I threw like Sly in the middle, and that was actually my rhyming word, so the next word I rhymed with was like rye, that it doesn't really make any sense. Like, you would be confused by the rap, and you would be like, oh, I thought she was gonna say something that rhymed with Keith next, but she didn't, and now I'm a little...
So it doesn't really have like a...
It's like, no, it's not a consistent rhyme at all. It's like 1, 2, 3, different, and then different. So like, it's like A, 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 B, 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 C, 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 D. And then you're like, this bitch is not following a rhyme scheme at all. And then you'll come back to the end of D and it'll be like A, and you'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with it? Like, and that's how people really would listen. Like, they would be like, man, that shit's cold, because I would be saying raw shit. But like my boys who were actually rappers would be like, you're cheating the system. Like, you're not rapping. Like, and yeah, and it sounds cold, and like regular people be like, man, you raw as hell. Da, da, da. I remember the first time I like met Jean and Saba, and they were like, damn, you raw as hell. And Q pulled me aside and was like, nigga, you just slant rhymed for 3 songs. You not doing shit. Like, how about you start rhyming? And I was like, fine. Like, I guess I'll be a rapper and not a poet. And I started like rhyming for real. And then, you know, I realized like it's a whole different game. Like,
yeah. It's crazy.
But don't ever lose that element.
Oh, hell no. I'm fast, G. Like, I'm fast. You teach me. My verse for Tech 9 song, I wrote that shit in like 8 minutes. Like, I'm telling you for like on some real shit. And I was like, it was like the hardest 8 minutes of my life. Like, I wrote like 4 bars, because it was only 8 bars I had to write. And I wrote like 4 bars, the first 4 bars, and they were like hot. And normally that's how it happens. I'll get the first 4 bars out, and they'll be like fire, and I'll be like, yeah, I got this shit. And I'll be like, let me think of the next bar. And I'll be like, damn, it's not as hot. And so I have to sit and think, and I like got them bitches out, and I was like, these are different kind of bars. Like, these are different. And it was just from him sitting on the bus, like, spitting his new shit, like, cause I heard Tech's like new album before it came out, so I was like listening to all his new styles, all his new techniques, and I'm like, man, you're dropping jewels on me. $50 million. He's the independent, like, from the ground up.
Yeah, the last dope.
What was it? The cipher.
The BT cipher?
That's what made me fuck with him. I was like,
that's what made him fuck with me.
He just did 4 styles in like 20 seconds. How the fuck do you do that?
And what's even crazier is that the verse he did over that is a verse to an actual song, to an entirely different beat. That's so much faster. So he took everything he did in double time and sped it down so that the public could understand it. That's nuts, right?
Yeah.
My smartest thing my manager did made me learn that entire verse, and when I met Tech, I spit that verse back to him. The way he did it, he was in awe. He was shocked. Like, he wanted me to sing for him off that, but he was like, he heard me start to spit his lyrics, and he was like, his face like changed. He was like, you could tell he had never seen a girl spit his shit so precise and so like exactly like him that he was like, I don't know who the fuck this is. Everybody in the room was like, because it was not like just me and him, it was like me, him, his tour manager, like his sound guy, his lighting guy, like 8 other niggas from the tour who I didn't know, who didn't know who the fuck I was. They were just like, who is this groupie bitch, like back here in sweaty ass, like, that's how niggas think of you. That's how niggas think of you. It's true, but they're all my niggas now, so it really doesn't matter. But I spit that shit word for word, and he was like, whoa, that's my verse. And I was like, that's your verse. I got you. He had never heard it. He had never heard it like that, and he was in awe.
So.
Can I pick this cat up? Doesn't matter. She's mine now. She's mine now.